Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. All is not as it seems. Yet again, Starmer lies. The man can't help himself, can he? He's been making announcements that, hey, we're going to cut foreign aid by 0.2% and use that money, putting it into defence. And that will mean an extra £13.7 billion going into defence. And it sounds great. But it sounds too good to be true as well. And when you look at the numbers, it is. He lied. You see, he can't help himself but lie. He needs to be impressive. 13.7 billion. It sounds a lot, doesn't it? Well, it isn't, because the true number is actually closer to 6 billion, less than half of what he's announcing. So why is he announcing 13.7 billion? It's because he's going over to America in a day or two, and he's going to be kissing the ring of Donald Trump. And he wants to kiss his ring with a very large number, like 13.7 billion. 6 billion, less than half of that, doesn't get to kiss quite so deeply. No tongues either, I suspect. And so he's invented this number, quite literally just invented this number of 13.7 billion. But analysts, the Defence Procurement Analysis Group, have said that it's wrong because there's already an uplift in process for defence spending. He's adding that in as well, but that's already been decided in the budget. That's already part of that uplift that was already there because of inflation and things. And he's also lifting this payment up, not in a single bound, Jack, escapes with a single bound. No, it's over a period of time. And of course, the effects of inflation are there. Plus, also, the 2% that he's cutting of the aid budget, 0.2% of the aid budget, does not come to 13.7 billion. But he's made no mention of where the rest of the money is. Well, if you're 7.4 billion shy, or 7.7 billion shy, and you're thinking, where can I get that from? Let me ask you this. Is he counting the money he wants to send to Mauritius to get rid of the Chagos Islands part of that number? Certainly seems to be close to it, doesn't it? But even the Institute for Fiscal Studies is now calling him out, and this is something unbeknown that so quickly within basically 2 hours of the announcement, people were crawling all over it like ants at a picnic, and they were pulling it apart. And he's been caught out. And of course, the reason he's run into trouble is the same reasons politicians always run into trouble. They want to always reach for the more impressive number, not necessarily the correct number. I suspect my dog is about to bark because somebody's just walking past. So if you hear a bark, that's why. He's looking very attentively. But yeah, he's got this big problem with Chagos. He's got the big problem with raising money to, quote, have a war. Not that he's saying it, but he wants a war, doesn't he? He's desperate for a war. He thinks a war will make him popular like it did with Thatcher. Let me tell you, no, it won't. No soldier in the British Army wants to go to war for Keir Starmer. The people of this country don't want to go to war because Keir Starmer's determined to go to war. But he's probably going to take us to war because that's the direction of travel. They're all warmongering bastards controlling Europe. Can we now stop and say no? And we, the people of Europe, say no. And remember, and I've got the story about Boris Johnson coming up later. But don't forget that it was Boris who basically pushed Zelensky into fighting all the time. Presumably Boris knew it would turn out to be a very nice money laundering operation, and he could hopefully get in and launder some of his own, perhaps, allegedly, maybe. But certainly billions upon billions from all over the world have been pumped in. There's nothing showing for it, like hundreds of billions, and there is nothing showing for it. What's going on? Is Putin involved? Was it his idea saying, I'll start this war, we'll all go in, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, some poor people will die, but they don't really matter. But he will all just funnel money in and so forth. It's hard to think but it's not impossible. And so you've got these warmongering bastards sitting there. Then he's lying about pumping billions in. Well, here's the thing. What's going to happen to that other 7.7 billion? Whose back pocket is that going into? Needs to be looked at very carefully. And I suspect that there is criminality to this. Let me know, if you think the same, because there's no way you accidentally overspend £7.7 billion. Where will it go? And expect taxes to go up, of course. Wars ain't cheap. But apparently, according to the political class, it'll be worth it. Be that blitz spirit during the Second World War, top ho-ho, We'll get to war and all that. We'll send them right. We'll send those Russians packing. God bless your mum. Tugs at forelock. But we're not tugs at forelock types of people anymore, are we? We're go screw yourself types of people. He can't raise an army, even with conscription. Look at how unfit our young people are. They're great if you want to play, video games. Oh, they'll go to war if it was a video game war. But actually getting their lardy asses out of a chair and running full dress into the face of a machine gun ain't never going to happen, is it? He can't raise a conscripted army. It's a joke. But even the Ministry of Defence is saying, even if you gave them the 6 billion, they'd struggle to spend it. The infighting within the forces would take so long. The Navy going, oh, we need ships. And the RAF going, oh, we need planes. And the Army going, oh, we need, boots and uniforms and guns and things. Of course, Army is always the cheapest force. They need the least equipment and the least trained. As long as you're basically battle fit to run, you can be put in the Army. Now, I'm not saying you're not, highly technical people. There are. But that's why infantry, for all the ones that aren't very good at anything. If you're good at things, you can go into REME, Royal Engineers. You go into specialist areas. Not belittling the infantry, you understand. Very proud of them. But it's the area where all you need is people who can follow orders and run. And I'm afraid we've got a whole generation that won't follow orders and can't possibly run. It's a joke, isn't it? This man is an embarrassment. And worse, though, he's a warmongering criminal embarrassment, in my opinion. Make that clear. People in this country, we need to rise and say, no, do not go to war. We do not allow it. We do not permit it. And we do not want it. Putin can't take Ukraine. He's not going to challenge Western Europe. And he's certainly not going to challenge the likes of the Poles, who've got the largest army in Europe. So sleep sweetly in your bed. The Poles are saving us. Thanks very much. Bye.